Welcome back to the Pistons Jack YouTube channel. On today's episode, we'll react to some new intel regarding the Pistons off-season and moves that could be coming very soon. We'll also react to the Pistons' first Summer League game, and one Piston in particular went absolutely crazy. But let's get to it. So, first things first, I came across a couple of interesting tweets yesterday in relation to what seems like a Pistons fan of some sort. Griff, aka @PistonsStrong on Twitter, put out some tweets about some information in intel he heard at a Pistons golf day recently, where Pistons staff were, Pistons officials. So let's just get straight into it. The first one I wanted to hit on that stood out to me was some intel regarding the Pistons sign and trade that never happened for Malik Monk. But as you can see here on the right, Griff said, "My source confirmed that the Pistons were offered Malik Monk in the Schroeder sign and trade, but the front office had very little interest in him and asked..." So that was the first part. He then asked if they had interest in the remaining restricted free agents in Giddey, Kuminga, Grimes, Cam Thomas. He said yes, didn't name a player, but said he doesn't see a deal happening. So first things first here, as we kind of spoke about a fair bit, it sounds like if the Pistons wanted Malik Monk, they could have had him. Now, this is kind of in the past now, but I think it shows that Trajan wasn't interested. I believe he wasn't interested because of the contract of 3 years, 60 million remaining. You look at the deals Trajan signed and players he's brought in, whilst both Levert and Robinson are on multi-year deals, they're still not very long-term commitments because Robinson, only like $1 million or $2 million is guaranteed of his second year, and the third year is non-guaranteed. So it really sounds like Robinson's deal was structured that way because you need 3 years to do a sign and trade, and they needed to do a sign and trade to bring him in, send Fontecchio out, who actually requested a trade, like we spoke about a couple episodes ago. So Trajan wants that optionality. It feels like a big move for the Pistons is coming. Like when we talk big move, like pushing the chips in move to go from like, who knows? This team this season, I think, could surprise people once again. But if we want to talk about that all-in move, like that move that, I mean, even OKC, they went out and signed Hartenstein to a big deal, and they also traded for Caruso. And whilst that wasn't a massive deal, they still sent out one of their top draft picks from their rebuilding, Josh Giddey, who obviously didn't fit, but he was still like 6 overall picks. So that type of move or bigger, I still feel like it could come next season, or it feels like Trajan wants to keep that optionality open for at least another 6 to 12 months before going all in. And Monk, you know, there wasn't much interest in him around the league. I saw multiple Sacramento Kings people tweet out like the market for Malik Monk is shockingly bad and I think it's because of that 20 million, 3 years with the way the new cap is. Monk is an exceptionally talented player, but how he affects your cap situation is why teams are being turned off by it, because it's 20 million for a 6-man on a really good team. Like we're looking at guys now like Gary Trent from the Bucks was, you know, he's not as good as Malik Monk, but he had a pretty good season with the Bucks, and he signed back for like 2 years, 12 million or something. So 20 million now for a bench scorer. Malik Monk is more than that, but really that's his role. It's too much, and I can see why Trajan said no. So I won't get bogged down on that too much anymore. But the second part of this, the Pistons have interest in Giddey, Kuminga, Grimes, or Thomas, one of those players. Now, it's probably not going to happen as it says here, and it's probably not going to happen because the Pistons don't want to commit long-term to probably any of these guys. But if I had to pick, I definitely don't think it's Josh Giddey. I don't think it's Quentin Grimes because of him not wanting to be in Detroit previously. I think it would be Jonathan Kuminga. I think it's pretty obvious. Kuminga, long-term, fits the 4. That's the position the Pistons need to figure out long-term. Like, maybe it is Ron Holland. Maybe he puts on the size to be that. But in terms of like when you look at the roster right now, the 4 position's the weakest spot long-term, because Tobias is solid for this season, but obviously we know he's like 32, turning 33 maybe. So long-term. So my guess would be Kuminga. I'd love to know who you think it is below. It doesn't sound like it's happening, but you know, the restricted free agent market's been very interesting this summer, with these guys struggling to get offer sheets and their own teams kind of holding them hostage. So we'll see what happens there. But the second tweet I found very interesting, and shout out once again to Griff @PistonsStrong. Go follow him. He said, I didn't get much Pistons intel at the golf outing today, but he was told they do plan on signing or trading for a 4 before training camp begins. So training camp typically begins in September, maybe late September, early. Yeah, it'd be September because preseason's like mid to early October. Don't be surprised if they bring back Lindy Waters on a 1-year deal to fill the 15th roster spot. So first part of this, we've spoken a lot about the 4, man. I was just talking about it then. The reason I have Sam Hauser and Preston Sachua here is because Hauser is a guy that fits in that trade exception. I spoke about it 2 episodes ago. The Boston are still over the second aprons just slightly. They are still over the first apron by about 15 million or 14 million. So shedding Hauser's 11.25 million, or I think he's on 10.8 million next year. But shedding his salary of around 11 million would significantly help them get under. And Hauser, I think, whilst strictly off the bench, I think he could play the 3-4 position pretty well. Elite shooter. This is a guy that took 6 threes a game last year, 42%, 8.5 points. Played big games for the Celtics. So that's why I have him there as that trade candidate. And then secondly, I have Precious there because Achua's part of that bunch I've spoken about a lot with Trey Lyles, Precious, Chris Boucher. Spoken about them enough, but Hauser's a name to watch. The big name every Pistons fan wants is PJ Washington, but I just don't see PJ, the Mavs, moving off him. The only way I could only see the Pistons getting PJ during the season before the deadline because like he fits that trade exception of 14 million. But I just think the Mavs really like their team, and it's going to take them having a slow start and being like, oh, we're way too expensive to be a playing team for them to move off PJ because they do have Cooper Flagg at the 4. They have Anthony Davis. They have Daniel Gafford, they just re-signed. They have Derek Lively. All guys who play in the front court. PJ's position there with his contract of around 12 million or something. Like that's a lot to pay for a guy when you have that many players in the front court. So if their season's not going well, keep your eye on PJ Washington. But I think Sam Hauser's the guy before training camp that for the Celtics and Pistons makes a lot of sense. So let's see what happens there. Because the Celtics, they don't want to take any salary back. It's a trade exception. Trading with them works very well. But let me know who you like there. I know we've spoken about that a lot, but it's just interesting to hear. And then Lindy Waters, I would love to bring him back in that 15th spot. The Pistons don't need to fill that 15th spot. They didn't fill it last season. You only need to fill it before the trade deadline. So it feels like Waters, he was here last year, great shooter. When he got those minutes, he was really, really good. So I thought at least bench depth, bench shooting, more insurance for THJ, Chaz Lanier insurance if he's not ready. Maybe he's in front of Chaz, probably. But you see what I mean there. Just more shooting. He's around 6'4", 6'5", so can't go wrong. Played some really good minutes with the Warriors. Started out with OKC, so some great stuff there. So thank you to Pistons Strong for that information. Now, let's get to the second half of the video. Summer League, Pistons Game 1. Now, we did do our post-game show live where I did offer my immediate thoughts. I'm recording this around 5 or so hours after the game. Ron Holland, bro. Wow. 28 points, 4 or 5 from deep, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 assists, 1 block, 66 or 63% from the field overall. Got to the line 13 times. Probably want to see him hit more than 8, but got to the line. Everything you want to see from a top 5 pick at their second Summer League, he delivered. And, man, if he hit a pull-up 3, a step-back 3, 2 spot-up 3s, 1 from the corner, I think, other step-backs from the corner. He actually airballed his first 3 and then hit 4 in a row. On top of the 3s, though, which will be the biggest thing, watching him on drives, I don't know if his handle's improved a lot, but I will say his reads, his first 2 drives of the game, beautiful kick-out passes to, I think, in the corner for a 3. I'm not sure if he got an assist, and then he did a drop-off pass, I want to say. Excellent. That's what we want to see from Ron. Playing in control. Of course, he's naturally going to be a scorer, but you can't just score every time you go into the paint. It's valuable to kick it out. And with his size, athleticism, it's just another tool to add to his tool belt that makes him this all-around, potentially incredible wing. So that has to be the best game from Summer League so far. I'll be surprised if he plays again. If he does play again, I would say it'll only be in the second game on Sunday. And then there's no way. He's shown he's a level above. I know the Knicks don't really have much of a team, but Ron was incredible. Also want to shout out Bobby Klintman. Amazing second quarter. He was making those passes again. An excellent behind-the-back feed to Tolu Smith in the second. 5 assists, led the team. Hit a corner 3. Was 1 of 3 from deep. 4 of 9 overall. Had like 8 or 9 rebounds, I want to say, a couple of steals, a block. Had like a nice chase down block with the left hand. Really solid start from him. And I think if once Ron's off the team, Bobby's the guy who's going to get in. Like, he ran a really nice pick and roll with Tolu Smith in the second half. Hit him with like this beautiful bounce pass. I want to see more of Bobby on ball, and I think we'll get that once Ron's resting and out of the team. He was awesome. Dennis Jenkins, shout out. 18 points, 13 in the first half, 3 of 5 from deep. Like everyone, couple of steals. Like, as you can see here, the Pistons won by nearly 20 points, and I think they had the lead the entire game by double digits. So, like, they were all over the Knicks. But Dennis Jenkins was awesome. Continues to impress me as a shot maker. 3 assists. Feel like he should have had more. But, like, he did his thing. Really nice game from him. Tolu Smith, another cruise two-way player for the Pistons. 16 points, 11 boards, couple of block steals. I thought he was good around the rim. He actually probably missed some bunnies, to be honest. Like, I feel like he'll look back and be like, man, I could have had like 22, 24 points. But love his presence. And overall, like, it's just so nice to have these cruise two-way players come in and just have big games like this. Because in the past, the Pistons front office, I believe, and I wasn't like hugely like critical of this, but I think it's fair to say like the previous regime didn't utilize the G League very much. They had the two-way players they had weren't great. Whereas to have like Dennis Jenkins, Tolu Smith, and Ron Harper Jr., who I'm not sure why isn't playing, guys who really can contribute, at least look really good at this level. And I think that's really encouraging. So the Pistons' second game is on Sunday at 4 p.m. against the Rockets. So I assume Reed Shepherd will be playing. This should be fun. It's on ESPN2, also on FanDuel Sports. So be sure to watch that. I'll be live after that with the post-game show. Plenty of coverage across our social channels. But that's going to do it for today's show, guys. Let us know your favorite moments from Summer League. Let us know your thoughts on that intel we kind of spoke about and rumors to let off the show. But once again, just seriously appreciate all your support on the channel. Like, the growth on this has been so fun the past couple of weeks. And if you're a day one subscriber or you've just subscribed today, like, I genuinely appreciate you all. This is really, really fun. So thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the content, and we'll be back tomorrow as always. Go Pistons.